The Sims 4 is still a thing, huh? Let's see, have I missed anything groundbreaking? Bust the Dust Kit? No. Dream Home Decorator? Nah. Country Kitchen Kit? No. Courtyard Oasis? Nope. Throwback Fit? Paranormal stuff? Not for me. Star Wars Journey to Disneyland advertising? Oh, come on, are you kidding? Oh, okay. A full new expansion pack finally. So yeah, The Sims 4 Cottage Living is a thing that happens to be TS4 expansion pack number 11, which now ties The Sims 3 for total number of expansions. A record that no doubt will be broken within a year because EA has no chill. Still, despite my cynical view of the company itself and a lack of interest in the game in general anymore, I still catch trailers for new stuff they're trying to sell, and this $40 cottagecore pack didn't look awful judging by the teasers. A pack where you're raising chickens and canning veggies in a virtual English countryside? Sure, why not? Let's do this. The Sims 4 Cottage Cheese kicks off with a new world to explore, Henford-on-Bagley, a quaint little village nestled into rolling green hills with dry stone fences dotting the landscape. Pleasant, comfy, unique regional architecture. Looks like the setting of a Cornetto trilogy movie. Nice. I quickly went through my usual routine of repurposing the same Sims I always do with some of the new clothing, hair, and accessories on offer. As usual, there's plenty for adult Sims and very little for youngins, and overall it's inoffensive, decent-looking apparel tailored to the pack's theme. There's a couple new traits as well, animal enthusiast and lactose intolerant, and a new aspiration, country caretaker. Naturally, these tie in directly to the core cottage gameplay going on here, which revolves around managing a small ranch and partaking in some Dr. Dolittle roleplay. You know, raising livestock, growing crops, and talking to animals in plain Simlish so they become your allies and happily do your bidding. Totally normal stuff in the UK from what I gather. On that note, the main thing that drew me to this pack were the chickens, cause chickens are fun. I raised hens and roosters myself for years, and honestly I still would if I had the option, and in this pack, the way it works is you simply buy a coop and order some birds, either chicks or fully grown, and then care for them as hands-on or hands-off as you like. Chickens generally don't need much beyond food, shelter, and basic hygiene, but you do have the option to get pretty close to them too, by socializing and befriending each individual bird. You can name them, talk to them, play with them, take them around in your pockets and wander around town with them. You can even enter chickens in local fairs and win sweet prizes. Something I also have experience with, one of my golden Polishes actually won Best in Show for its breed at a fair in the 90s, so yeah, it's minor, but this is an especially nostalgic addition, and I approve. Of course, gathering up eggs is a big part of raising poultry too, and those can be used either as ingredients in recipes or sold to a vendor in town. You can't eat the chickens themselves, by the way, or any of the other animals, although you can trade them for meat, which in a way equates to the same thing, kind of. You can also have them reproduce by looking out for hatchable fertilized eggs, providing you've got an open coop slot. And I sure do wish an 8-bird coop was as easy to clean in real life as it is here, where you just pick up a small bag of trash and that's it. No wiry scrub brushes, garden hoses, or smells of worm droppings here. Chickens are gross, and quite free-spirited. The birds often wander off on their own and roam around the lot. So keep an eye on them if you've got foxes around, and chances are you will, especially on lots where they're more likely to spawn. It should be noted these wild foxes are also distinct from the fox dog breed in Cats and Dogs, being much more fox-like than that pack's weird dog-fox variants. And no matter what they say, foxes are delighted to kill smaller animals on your ranch, and they'll even sneak in and steal eggs if given the chance. Unless you can chase them off or repel them in some way, or convince each fox not to steal by talking to it long enough to reason with them, somehow. Yeah, with or without the animal enthusiast trait, Sims can converse with all the new animals and even form somewhat complex relationships, like to the point where animals eventually bring your Sims daily gifts and provide services to your ranch. The rabbits, for instance, they spawn at these rabbit hole stumps and typically hop around just being bunnies, but if you talk to one long enough and exchange the right gifts according to their preferences, they'll eventually join your staff as unpaid interns, keeping weeds out of your gardens by eating them. Same goes for wild birds, which spawn at their own tree stump thing and come with their own gift preferences and skills. You can't befriend individual birds, but once a sim befriends a flock, you can have them chase insects away from crops instead of relying on bug sprays. The Sims 4. Even when it's not a fantasy expansion, it's still a fantasy expansion. Finally, there are cows and llamas, with llamas in particular being notable since they've been the Maxis mascot since the early 90s, going back to Sim Farm and SimCity 2000. And yeah, both llamas and cows are a little more grounded in terms of acting like actual animals and not Disney cartoon characters. Don't expect them to bring you gifts, sing songs, or clean the house or whatever. They're plain old livestock purchased at animal sheds with only a small preset area where either a llama or a cow can live in each stall. You can't have more than one in a stall, and they can't wander outside, so that's unfortunate. Free-range chickens, totally, but when it comes to larger livestock, forget it. Other than these bovine sprites straight out of Doom 2, cows and llamas are forever restricted to living inside their sheds. At least it's also a woohoo location, because of course it is, nothing like a little after-hours plowing. And Sims aren't the only ones getting milked in the barnyard. Cows can naturally be milked for milk with a milk bucket, and the type of milk you get depends on the cow's comfort level. Brushing them, keeping their stall clean, and socializing with them keeps them happy and productive. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can go cow tipping. Get it, cow tipping? Affecting livestock even more directly is the food you give them, or more specifically, the treats. Animal treats are things Sims can now buy or bake that work like magic potions. Some of them accomplish generic stuff like filling their needs, increasing lifespans, or upping relationship levels. Other treats do things like flavor cow's milk with chocolate or strawberry, or make them produce plant milk. So wait, if cows can produce plant milk, then what do cow plants produce? Whatever, I don't want to know. And with llamas, well, they produce wool. So treats can change their color and make them grow specialized wool. That can then be either sold, like everything else, or used as crafting material for knitting with the knitting pack, or with the new cross-stitch hoops. Cross-stitching is a minor 5-level skill where Sims can choose from a selection of pre-made patterns at first, and eventually stitch by reference, where Sims can craft unique patterns from a screenshot. A welcome addition indeed. As is the new canning feature, functioning the same as other recipes, just with more twine and mason jars. If a Sim has the right ingredients, they can cans, making for a well-preserved snack to munch on later or sell for a tasty profit. Truthfully, I'm just glad canning doesn't require yet another stupidly oversized piece of machinery like half the other side activities do. So, let's see, what else is here? I guess picnic baskets are a thing again, returning from The Sims 3 and functioning basically like glorified lunch bags from the Parenthood pack. Older Sims can now teach child Sims to cook, which is pretty cute and whatnot. Making meals in general has been expanded with group cooking options, along with a fitting assortment of traditionally English dishes. You can also order groceries and have them sent to your Sims' homes, and that's rad since there's now a greater emphasis on fresh ingredients, especially with the Simple Living Lot Challenge. There are also specialized NPC Sims wandering around town which act as quest givers, distinctly called residents instead of townies. So like the Crumple Bottom ladies, for instance, they've got a bunch of rewards to hand out if you spend your time running errands for them. As if you didn't already have enough 24/7 busy work with your ranch. Oh yeah, growing stuff. Obviously that's been expanded a bit, including a handful of new crops that grow in dedicated squares of soil. But while it's neat that you can now grow giant pumpkins, watermelons, lettuce, and eggplants using copious fertilizer, I didn't find it any more engaging than the existing gardening options. Tedious, sure, but not engaging. Properly maintaining your ranch is understandably time-consuming, especially when you take into account all the animals' daily needs. But if you were looking for an in-depth farming expansion, this ain't it. I'd actually recommend checking out the Farmland mod pack instead, which adds a ridiculously impressive amount of new content for a free download, including plenty of features I've wished were included in The Sims for years. And lastly, there are 2 lonely new chairs, unless you count a stool, a mushroom, and a bale of hay, and in that case, there's a grand total of 5. So yeah, that's the Cottage Living pack. In terms of content and new gameplay, it's really not half bad, but I mean, it cost $40 daggum, man. It is admittedly quite charming at times, and it easily keeps your Sims busy as balls with caring for crops and critters. And I love the chickens, dude, but come on! This is the 11th $40 pack for a game from 2014. If you've seen my reviews before, then you know my stance. I cannot and do not recommend paying full price for any of these packs. As is tradition, it feels like this one should have either cost less upfront and been labeled a game pack, or included more substantial gameplay additions if it's gonna be a full-on $40 expansion. And that's what it comes down to. I may be amused by the chickens, but the price is somewhat foul. And if you enjoyed this pack review, sweet! I don't plan on covering many more of them at this point, and instead I'll only do the full expansion packs when it comes to The Sims 4. I couldn't care less about all the other stuff EA is dumping out in between. That said, I do plenty of other videos weekly here on LGR, so check those out if you like. And thank you very much for watching.